How many speeding tickets have you guys had?
I have a really fun story about this, actually.
Do you get well, I know this answer. You haven't. When's the last time you got a speeding ticket?
Well, knock on wood.
I don't think that's what it's probably.
Particle board.
Would at some point in its life.
So my first speeding ticket, I was 16. I had my first job at this gymnastics gym. And the state trooper pulled me over on Three Bridges Road. There's really not anywhere to pull off on that road,
Yeah.
But it was right past Rose Hill, like that whole area. Anyway, all that to say, pulls me over, gives me a ticket. I'm crying, all the things. Well, a few days later, I show up at my job because I was teaching gymnastics.
Yeah.
And guess who one of the parents is?
Him.
He
was him.
Yep, he was him. And he brought his daughter in, and guess whose class she was in?
Yours.
Mine. I was like, hey, remember me? You pulled me over and gave me a massive ticket.
Massive ticket?
Yep. I had to.
And you made her experience miserable. You looked at him, you're like, until you drop this, your child's going to have a miserable. Oh, you didn't say all that?
No,
I didn't. Maybe I dreamed that.
But I did, in my younger years, have to go to a safe driving class to get tickets or my points reduced.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I've never done that.
Oh, well, must be nice.
Yeah, must be nice. But I don't speed anymore. I got precious cargo.
I like that. What about you?
The last time, I got caught speeding in North Carolina coming back from coaching a salon, and I was going 90 miles an hour, which in North Carolina is basically reckless driving. So I had to hire a lawyer. Yeah, I was going to get a traffic court, then go to criminal court.
Wow.
Yeah, it escalated.
What was the zone you were in?
60. So I was coming down a mountain.
Sure.
And so long story short,
figuratively and literally,
I was like, okay, I got a speeding ticket. It was like, I don't know, like $120.
Yep.
And the next morning I tried to pay online. Well, it wouldn't let me. So I called him, and this guy, he was very casual. I called him. I was like, hey man, I'm trying to pay my ticket. He's like, what'd you get stopped for? I said, speeding. He's like, what was you doing? I said 90 and a 60. He's like, oh, man, you're going to have to show up for court. I was like, do what? He's like, bro, you were going to, he said, bro, everything. I was like, this is very casual. This is not very professional. I didn't say that, but, so I had to hire a lawyer and everything, but, I haven't got stopped since that time in a very long time. If it was $120 ticket,
yeah. Here's
the thing. If you're married to an officer or you are an officer, just disregard this. I speed a lot. So let's just think that if I sped all the time,
yep,
I save 5 minutes a day.
So keep going. I've done some math about this. I'm going to do some math with you.
5 minutes a day.
Yep.
That's very conservative, right?
Yep.
How much is my time worth? It's a great question. My hour-long Zoom calls and
growth
is $250 an hour.
Okay.
So let's just say my time's worth $250 an hour.
Yep.
And 5 minutes a day.
Yep.
Times 365.
What
does that come up to? How much money?
So $5,416.
So I'm making
money.
I'm making speeding. Money. So $120 ticket.
Yeah.
Next time I get pulled over and be like, hey, dude, listen.
Here's a fun coupon.
Fun coupon. Like, I'm making money right now.
That's going to be really funny when you aren't able to drive from South Carolina to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because you can't drive in North Carolina.
So when I called this lawyer, I was like, hey, the first thing he says, can you get to where you're going without going through North Carolina? I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Wow.
So, it was serious. I think it was right under $1,000 after lawyer fees and everything. Wow. So still making money.
I know you're netting what, $4,000 at this point? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Conservatively.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's boy math right there. You have girl math, that's boy math.
We knew that it was going to head there. That's
How about you?
Okay, so my last one, I have been pulled over a lot. Sometimes 2-3 times a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I the weird thing is too though, usually it's not for speeding, but my last speeding ticket, here's the story. So let me set the scene. It is May 19th, day before my birthday. I'm down in Arizona last year. I have a thing with cars. I love driving fast cars. The way that the story goes, my dad and I were on a canyon run. He's sitting shotgun. It's just like nostalgic, like we're having a good conversation about life. And he still does land into the space though, where like he will try and guide me, if you will, right? So we're going through this canyon run. I come up on like 4 cars, and we pass down there. They're all in trucks, right? So they can go off road if they need to. We go by the guy. My dad waves at the cop, right? And like right away, I'm like,
Cool.
I'm in a C8 Corvette, so like it's a fast car, right? And I notice him do it, and in my mind, I'm thinking because of the canyons and stuff like that, like within 2 minutes of it, I'm like, that nerd can't see me anymore. And I see this like small window of a passing zone, and there's 4 cars. So I just shifted into 4th, which is, I don't know if I should say this. It's well into 3 digits of speed. Let's say that. So I'm into 3 digits of speed, and I knew that when I came back in, I knew that I had extended the passing zone into a no passing zone. So fast forward about 5 minutes, all of a sudden I'm heading into a corner, braking like usual, and I see cherries and berries behind me. And
Cherries and berries.
Yep.
I've never heard that.
Yep.
That's great.
So, and my dad right away, like immediately, I told you so. And I'm like, right there, like, Dad, shut up. Right. So, yeah, I get pulled over. The cop was great though. He's like, hey, there's 2 things I can ticket you for. The one of them is you and I both know that you were well over the 45-mile-an-hour zone.
40.
Yeah, I was in a 45. And, he basically is kind enough to say, you choose that option, you are losing your license. Or I can give you a ticket for extending a passing zone. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the second one, sir. I don't know if he was doing it because of my birthday, but yeah. So, cherries and berries, good old Smokey got me in the canyons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
But even on that situation, I'm apparently, if that's what we're going on, boy,
making
Matt says,
money, baby.
still making money.
Speeding and making money. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Well, hey, I love a good timestamp, and in this opportunity we are going to be doing a review of the Leaders Retreat. We are not even 24 hours out from it. So I want to just kind of keep this loose and fluid. What from this retreat was what's something that had an impact on you?
From
Start to finish.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Well, this was our 4th one.
Yeah.
And it was eerily smooth.
Yeah.
Like we get set up. We were open on Saturday. Our team jumped in, got the salon, almost all the way clean, minus floors. But normally we have so much stuff to do, but we decided to cater in for that first night.
Yep.
It just made it super smooth.
Yeah, I felt like I was not in the weeds as much this time.
Yeah.
Because everything was taken care of. I think the biggest impact I saw was I felt more walls up on people in the beginning than I have in the past. And that's not a bad thing. I think having walls up is totally fine, because in any industry, you go to these conferences and these things, you just kind of like, we've done it. We go and we're like, hey, we're not buying anything.
Yeah.
We're not. And you start to see people start to realize like, oh, they're doing all this for resources for us.
Right.
So I saw the walls start to break down right before lunch.
Yep.
And then the Sunday evening, our events, they're the best. I love them. Everybody's just relaxed. And I think they're relaxed because of 2 things. They got a lot of resources and help.
Yep.
And there's people there to show like, hey, we're there for you. We're for them.
And they're going through the same thing.
Yeah, everybody there is like, we're going through the same things a lot of them are.
Yep.
And I think just, we built this company on being being full of integrity and being real.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think they sense that early on as like, we don't have it all figured out.
Right.
You know, these are the things that have worked for us, and a lot of it's leadership. A lot of it's getting our financial stuff in order and getting our commission structures and our service pricing correct. Because you can have great leadership, but if you don't have great service pricing where it's profitable,
Yep.
and vice versa, if you have great service and profitability, but you don't have the leadership, you got it's. People always ask me, like, not always, I sound like an influencer. Oh, you guys have been DMing me.
A lot of you been asking.
Yes.
Or a lot of my new followers.
Yep.
Where'd you
There
get
we
these
go.
shoes? But anyway, like, which one's more important, leadership or in culture or the financial side? I'm like, both.
That's really
Both.
hard.
Yeah.
It's
Both.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to elevate both of them.
What was most impactful to you?
The thing that was new within this one that I think really was just the star of it was the workbook. That was different. That gave them it gave them something to fill in. It gave them a space to put their notes. It was something that was tangible. I think it was really, really well done. And I saw everyone utilizing it, right? We know, I mean, we've done the smaller size notebooks before. The amount of full pages that I saw within this one, that was something that was different. I think then for me, when I've looked at some of this stuff, I redid a little bit of some of the areas, and I wanted to bring more emotion out from people, and to the amount of vulnerability and tears in the room, I wanted to go deeper. That was one thing, personally that I had as a goal. And I think, that was one of the reviews, like when the walls are up, it is our job to be aware of how to get those walls down.
Yeah.
And I think that by showing people that it's a safe space to, if you need to cry, that's okay. Right. That's what this is designed for. It's designed. I mean, if you come into it, hey, I'm bumped, I'm bruised up, it's okay. We've all been there. Like none of us within our journey, like we are full of mistakes. I think great events like this, I'd rather not be given some cookie cutter thing that no one has actually applied. I would rather see like, hey, I will show you where the scars are, right? I will show you where I've had a payroll issue that cost me $67,000 the year that we went into our location, right? Like, this is real. And I think that was what was felt. But I will agree though, y'all, this one was really, really smooth. I mean, we also, though, our team is stout, right?
Yeah, they are.
Jordan, Brenna, Tony, Ren, having them there, and all of them have servant hearts. So like when they need to jump in, they're jumping in. Ren is doing edits like on the fly. We're putting out stuff as we're going. Tony literally at some points of it was like, hey, I want this slide to change, and it's 5 minutes before it's about to go on. Right. So the resources and the support that we had, I think that was top notch. And I think because this is our fourth one, the thing that I'm learning and what I saw here was there was flow within our verbiage. I think more on this one too. It's interesting, right? Like, I don't know if you all have this, but in Anagen, we will like repot plants into clear glass jars just with water, and you watch the root systems over time really start to grow into each other. That's what I experienced in this one. It was cool all around.
We're speaking the same language, which at the end of the day, we're different companies. I mean, Tony is in Colorado Springs. You're in Appleton. We're in Greenville, South Carolina. But
Hey, don't leave out the Wisconsin. I'm really proud of that.
Do what?
You just said Appleton.
Yeah, we got to say Appleton, Wisconsin. We got to say it with some gusto. I'm just kidding.
Appleton, Wisconsin.
There
we
we
just
go.
assume everybody knows where Appleton is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think about that, and I'm like, we all have similar values, similar mindsets, and I just think it all kind of melted together.
Yeah, and thinking of this is, we talked about this. People complain about Gen Z or I can't find great people to work, and one of the things we said in the retreat is, does your brand attract that?
Right.
Does your leadership attract that? And this is, I'm going to say this out of humility, but like what we've built has attracted really, really great people
Yep.
to come be support for Refine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have
Okay.
a purpose.
Yeah.
We meet before of like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we need done. And they're like, yeah, that we know. It's not like, why are they not doing that? Or, so, if you're listening to this, and I mean, it's a phenomenal retreat that if you're doing great things and you want to take it higher, this is great. If you're just now starting out, I mean, we have people that are like thinking about, a salon, or
Right.
they're even independent thinking. I mean, we had booth rental salons in there, and our materials more for the commission based.
Yeah.
But, just giving people resources. That's why we do this, is to give people resources and for bringing brilliant minds together to have community.
Yep.
Where after the weekend, we have yet to find anybody that's like, yeah, this is all right.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody genuinely is like, there's nothing else out there like this. This is so good. And I love even having our partners for us there, because they're just like, guys, nobody else is doing this.
Right.
You're doing something great.
Yeah.
And the thing is like what you talked about, if they don't know you, they can't grow you. And if they, hang on, what is it?
They
They
can't
don't know you.
They can't grow you. If they can't grow you, they can't flow you.
That's
Yes.
right.
And
so
Erin does this,
Yeah.
and like she gets into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hope it brings a smile. We actually learned that at the conference that we went to in January of 2024, but it stuck with me. And it's something that I think is really important. Even speaking to the collaboration within Refine and how does that translate in what we teach, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It doesn't happen because you haphazardly had an interview process. I think you guys interviewed Tony, I don't know how many times, right? I mean, y'all were on calls multiple times to see what is it really like to be around her. And I mean, even when we did the leaders retreat at your salon, she was kind of sort of just came under the pretense that this was come see what we do.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. We were like, and at the end of it, we were like,
like a shadow day.
You're on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just like how we tell all of our other salons, as we were talking about recruitment and, PDMs and, how do you grow your leadership? It's not instantaneous. It's what is it? What's the saying? Great leaders do consistently what good leaders do occasionally.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like, the mindset that you all have.
All right. Hey, shameless plug. We want to continue to serve. Check out the App Store. Type in The Refine Network. It's available both on Apple and Android. Here's the thing. It's a way that we can continue to serve you. All of our podcasts, all of our digital resources, and our community is there. Here's the thing. We believe that we're better together. Back to the episode. One thing too, to your point, Evan, and I'm thankful. This is where like doing these recaps are so cool. That we had every single space represented, every single phase of a career represented in that room.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So just to be clear to everyone listening, so we had W-2 commission in the room. We had a booth rent in the room. We had every phase of employees within W-2 to people that are sole proprietors in rental. Right. We had salon owners. We had legacy salon owners. We had third generation salon owners. We had a salon owner that was there with one of her top leads in looking to build leadership there. So literally, like, wild thing, I just got the chills. Like every phase was represented.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, the power of it is like this is real. It's content. I think that to every single phase, no matter where you're at, I think you get to take something away from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's funny that we're doing our Refine retreat in November, which is exclusively for people that have already been to the leaders retreat.
Is that what we're calling it? I thought that was your birthday party. Isn't it happening over your birthday?
Yeah, November 8th through 10th, all weekend, baby.
Here we go.
So I was telling what we mentioned it, like, hey, you're exclusively invited to this event. And she came at me afterwards. She's like, is this something I can invite my whole team to? And I was like, oh, and I was like, that's what I said. I was like, maybe, like, what if we opened it up? We're going to need a bigger space.
What a problem they
We're gonna,
have.
yeah, I know. So,
It's like they don't
that
make
right
those.
there, if people don't enjoy it, they don't say things like that.
100%.
They're not like, hey, next time, can I
Yeah.
bring my whole team?
Right.
It flowed so well from the leadership. We talked about refining your leadership and went
Yep.
through an acronym of refine. I think the biggest takeaways were people were like, remove the unnecessary, like, what do you need to, evaluate in your life and delegate and eliminate? Like,
Yep.
what are those things in your life? And I saw people like writing down a lot.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a great leader if you're just overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff.
Dude, and it literally, man, it's so interesting because even at the level of these operations, right? Even at our level here, what we talked on there, I'm about to go back to Antigen and do some things that are very, very different and some things within my career that I haven't done yet. And that's the point of it. We've had this conversation, like the leadership journey is never done. And I think that when you get yourself in rooms with other people, wherever they're at, the amount of things that I learned just through osmosis of hearing, like I got to hear a lot of stories and I got to hear a lot of pain by some of these stories that were shared with salon owners. And here's the weird thing. When you hear a story that's like, oh, hey, like let's say that our hobby is hiking, right? And I might not have gone to a specific part of the Americas to do some sort of hiking, right? I might not have like rappelled maybe before. And I hear someone talk about this rappelling journey, and that's where like you're going down from a high amount of, right? And you're like have a rope on you and all the nonsense. I've never done that, but they tell me their story about it. And I'm like, gosh, when I do that, I know that you really got to make sure that anchor point is secure, right? So like, that's the thing I think that's so cool about this is like, not only is it the content that we're sharing, but we also have events set up. Like we do Saturday, the opening of it is just literally to network and share your story, right? We do that thing after the day on Sunday. It's meant so that people can have a little bit of fun, a little bit of competition, apparently win a pair of AirPods, which I wish I had that. I was second. I was so close. Shout out Crystal.
And Are you sure you were second?
Yeah, I was.
Because
Well,
I was
win.
Oh, I can't?
No, you can't win.
Well, then who's to say I wouldn't give him away?
He had me marked as, and I was like, dude, I'm not going to win this. He's like, you could tell he was like, uh-oh, I didn't mark.
Oh, you're saying Austin? No, I went to Austin. I was like, Austin, who was closer? It matters to me. And he's like, you were closer.
Well, Austin can't even do his job. So,
oh, dude, I think you did great. Oh, that's one thing too. Here's the funniest part. This is actually one of my highlights. We ended up walking threes together,
which is a par 3 golf course.
Yep.
It's lit up at night. Because people guys listening is like, y'all played golf at night.
Yep. So in the part that I loved about it was, so it was the three of us and then Tony and Ren. And the conversations and the joking, I got to figure out that one of the reasons golf is hard for me is because if I lose a ball, it's like abandonment issues, like all triggered over again.
Dude, he's looking for a ball for like 20 minutes.
I literally looked at it for the rest of the time. I was looking for that ball just to pop up, like, where are you? Right.
Well, and Austin, he saw that in you and he replaced some of those red balls.
Oh, yeah. Everyone got one. And then Evan got the new nickname as the arborist because he spent so much time in the trees.
Dude, I was in the trees on one hole. This guy.
All kidding aside, though, like I think that's the part of it, though. Like, and that's another thing that we do differently. Like, we're there to have an experience. We're there to have some fun. If we're gonna do this, like this is not a small undertaking, right? Every single one of these, we have been building our kit. We've been equipping our team. We've been building team. We've been building our presentations. They've never been better. The content has never been smoother in the way that we're able to connect now. And I think go deep with people. We went to new depths, and I tested a submarine analogy off of a plane. We talk about building a plane a lot through it. I tested the submarine. I think people got it. So I feel good about that.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I thought have you not talked about that before?
Never before. Literally thought about it that morning.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, we had fun.
Good job.
Well, here's the thing though. Like when you have good people around you, you feel safe. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, I've said some kind of like, I've tested some stuff and I've talked about retail and reference points in history before that definitely don't land very well. But
you saw my joke at the top flop. You're like, oh, I'm not going to be as risky today.
Yeah, no. Yep. I mean, you tested the room, right? That one.
That morning session, that's a tough one because their walls are already up. I'm like the opening act of like the concert that nobody wants to see.
Oh,
and
that's not true.
And it's like
Aaron, let
they're
him
just
sit in that for a little bit more.
That's
Don't
not
rest.
true.
Don't
you're just
rescue him
warming
right
up.
away.
You're warming up the crowd, so I'm just getting the crowd warmed
No,
up
I
for
do.
you guys.
I think
It's called servant leadership.
right. Yeah. You know anything about that?
Wow, she said it's so cold.
I'm just kidding.
Where are the tissues in here?
I know.
Right behind her.
Yeah.
No, I do think that, I guess maybe to the original question that you opened, not the tickets, but to the original question, what was the favorite part? It was intimate. It was full of vulnerability.
Yeah.
It was everybody got to speak. And I think at events like that, you feel like your opinion doesn't matter or what you're going through doesn't matter. And I feel like we all did a really great job of showcasing and I guess allowing everyone to speak about like what they're going through. And I think that provided a ton of value.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I know what makes this retreat so special is a lot of conferences we've been to, a lot of things in the industry, in every industry. They get up on stage and they make themselves the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very, very laser focused on not being the hero.
Yeah.
We're making the people attending, they're the hero. We're the guide.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yeah.
a hero, we don't want to take the role of a hero.
Right.
The hero always has a problem. The guide has the resources.
Yep.
So we got to find the heroes and say, hey, if we can, because
Right.
not everyone, I mean, there's people that we have not worked with because we're like, hey, we don't feel like we're going to be able to serve you best.
Right.
We could have taken their money.
For sure.
And they even told us, hey, thanks for telling us that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's high integrity.
Yeah. And, you know, I think people walked away feeling like the hero. And that is the win.
Yep.
That's the bullseye.
I think,
100%.
well, I think too, I mean, guides usually have already walked the path.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so they've already made the mistakes and they've already learned from the mistakes. And I think this is the part where it's, you know, the authenticity of Refine. We're not teaching things that we're not doing.
Right.
You know, and I mean, we had several of our team in that room and I'm like, they could easily be like, hey, y'all don't do that, but good try.
Yep.
But we don't teach things that we're not authentically doing in our own companies.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. You said it really well there. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, we clearly, like, we have built things, we have programs, we have resources, we have different levels of coaching and things that if you need someone to walk a little bit closer to you, carry your pack maybe, right? Or help you re-equip your pack, we got you. And our other goal also though is if you have the competence to do this, and we just like open the idea of like, gosh, I haven't looked at my business from this lens, right? Choose your adventure. Right. And I think, Evan, that's really, really important. And again, it's yet another way. By calling this Refine, we are staying exactly true to what our branding is and what our core values are. Right. We did not do anything that was like, oh, opt in to find out more. Like, there was no BS done in that way. Like, if we can serve you, we're here to serve you. And if you don't feel that you need it at this point, great. We're glad that we could have enlightened you. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well said.
Yeah. Great job, guys.
I was kind of waiting for you to get emotional. I was hoping that you might cry a little bit.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
He did all that yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, so the real thing of this is, as you spoke to it, so Leaders Retreat 2.0, that is November 8th through the 11th. We do have one Leaders Retreat prior to that, though. So if when you're talking about that, you're like, hey, how do I get to that one? And you've never been to one before. We are having our next Leaders Retreat in September, and the whole idea of that is, again, you know, it's about the people that are in the room. That should be up on our site. I'm imagining actually by the time this is live, we have all that ready to go.
September 20th through the 22nd.
You know, dude, here's the thing. Like, I think I just understood something. I'm not a huge ball sports fan, but I think I might be able to make this. I needed the dates. And I see you over there. You're finding them. You just extended the play. touchdown, my friend, right?
Look at you using sports
That
references.
was an assist.
Yep.
Oh, look at you guys.
See, can you assist it? I was talking football. Can you
You
assist
can't
in football?
assist in football.
You can assist in
That-
basketball.
That was a lateral. That's where the ball moves horizontally, but
Yes.
doesn't have to go down the field.
Yep, look at you.
Chat GPT, baby. All right. Thanks, y'all, for listening. We appreciate you, and we're here to serve.
Boom.